Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution.
Adam Schiff just cornered FBI Director Kash Patel in a way we have never seen before, demanding straight answers on illegal firings, political retribution, and the Epstein files. And Patel couldn't give a single clean yes or no. What we witnessed wasn't just evasion. It was a man scrambling to hide how far he's bent the FBI to Donald Trump's will. From summary dismissals of career agents to contradictions about Epstein's black book, Schiff dragged every buried truth into the light. And Patel's meltdown at the end? That told the real story.
You said you're the most transparent FBI director in history, so I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's black book. And you said, he asked, who has Jeffrey Epstein's black book? And you said, black book, FBI. And he said, but who? That is, I mean theirs. And you said, oh, that's under the direct control of the director of the FBI. That's what you said. Was that true, Mr. Patel?
I'll rely on you quoting it accurately. I did that a couple of years ago.
Was it true what you represented to Mr. Beck and the president's supporters out there, or were you lying?
No.
Was it true that the black book, Epstein's black book, was in the possession of the FBI director?
The black book was in the possession of the FBI.
Okay, so now that you're the FBI director, you have possession of the black book, right?
That index has been released.
So you have Jeffrey Epstein's black book?
What is known as Jeffrey Epstein's black book has been released by us.
And you released it. And let me follow up on Senator Kennedy's question, because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here, you've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said, himself. There's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all of the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question, Senator Kennedy's question.
The information that 3 administrations have had access to have made determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically stating
whether it's your testimony today.
Well, you just read it, and I said it 10 minutes ago, so let the record reflect my testimony.
I just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding, because there are victims like Virginia Guifer who have testified otherwise, who have said otherwise, and you're telling the American people today that the Epstein list is a single name and it's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we're to believe?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying, and you can say whatever you want.
Let me ask you this. When Todd Blanche went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, she said, but did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet, who you value as your co-workers, and you know would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find out. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that. And the next question Todd Blanche, the president's former criminal defense lawyer, asked is not who in the cabinet, who are you referring to? His question is, so when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage? So let me ask you, who are those cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell was referring to that, that were part of this cast of characters associated with Mr. Epstein? Who are they?
The Deputy Attorney General took the aggressive step that no one else did and interviewed Ms. Maxwell for
I'm
2
asking you,
days,
who
and
are
we
the
released
who are
the
the cabinet
entirety
members?
of that
Who are the
transcript.
cabinet members?
I do not have that transcript in front of me. You're picking it piecemeal. The American
And-
public can read the entirety of
Let me ask you
that.
one last question, because you clearly won't tell us the cabinet members associated with Mr. Epstein. Let me ask you one last question. And that is, right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Decisions made it in
Prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds?
What I am doing is
most-
protecting this country, providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness,
and
the most
combating the
significant
weaponization of
witness,
intelligence
the
by the
Epstein
likes of
files
you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the
the
biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter coward.
And I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised
not
that you continue to
surprised
lie
that
from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your
and for good
charade.
reason.
You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take
and
it to
make-
the
you can
bank
take an
that the
internet-
FBI is
you
protecting
can
this
make an
country
internet troll,
and the state and
the FBI
citizens of
director
California.
will
We are
always
bringing
be nothing more
historic
than an
reform.
internet
Point of
troll.
order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
You said
take
I'm the
control
most
of this
transparent
situation.
FBI director in history.
Take control of this
33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet before I go to Senator Tillis.
What you just watched was not a routine oversight exchange. It was a full unraveling of Kash Patel's carefully scripted talking points. Schiff walked him into a simple, unavoidable question. Did you fire agents for working on investigations into Donald Trump or January 6th? A normal FBI director would say no and move on. Patel couldn't. He kept qualifying every answer with lawyerly phrases like, not for case assignments alone, a verbal tell that Schiff immediately caught. Because the moment Patel adds alone, he admits there were other factors he refuses to name because naming them would confirm political retaliation. And that's why Schiff kept hammering. He wanted the public to hear the evasions in real time, to see that Patel could not deny the core accusation without cornering himself legally. Every time Schiff removed Patel's escape hatch, let's take out the word alone, Patel collapsed back into the same circular answer. That's not the behavior of a man telling the truth. That's someone protecting a purge he doesn't want documented. Then Schiff turned to the Epstein files, and Patel made an even bigger mistake. He admitted the Black Book was in direct FBI control after years of conspiracy-driven denials. He admitted he has the authority, and he admitted the FBI concluded Epstein never trafficked anyone to anyone else, a claim that defies testimony from victims, court records, and Maxwell's own interviews. Schiff's point wasn't subtle. The public was misled, and Patel is continuing that misinformation under an administration that benefits from keeping names quiet. The Maxwell segment was devastating because Schiff used Patel's own bragging, most transparent FBI director in history, against him. If that were true, he could answer a basic question. Who were the cabinet members Maxwell referenced? Patel refused. And then came the explosive final move, Schiff connecting Maxwell's interview to her sudden transfer to a minimum security facility. Patel insisted it was the Bureau of Prisons acting independently. Schiff made sure the audience heard how impossible that explanation is, because nobody believes that a prisoner tied to one of the most explosive scandals in U.S. political history gets moved randomly, right after naming associates. And that's when Patel snapped. When he had no more procedural shields, no rehearsed lines, he lashed out, calling Schiff a fraud, a liar, a coward. That kind of meltdown isn't strength, it's panic. That's what it looks like when a political appointee, installed to protect a president, finally realizes he's being questioned by someone who actually understands the rules, the evidence, and the institutional history of the Department of Justice. This hearing didn't expose just Patel's conduct, it exposed a pattern. Loyalty over law, purge over professionalism, and secrecy over truth.